Welcome to South Asia Maps educational channel where your presenter Reddy brings knowledge of South Asian region to you in the form of maps, that is icons, images and pictures as a part of intellectual Kshatriyahood educational channel for our audience. Today's topic of discussion from Reddy is the geographic areas made easy. I have taken up part 3, that is Pakistan today. To remind my audience, if you are following me on ShareChat or other social media channels, and if you liked my presentations and the content and you feel this is valuable to you and makes you very articulate in various aspects of Indian heritage, I strongly request you, Mitrom and Bandhuvam, please go to South Asia Maps Reddy, subscribe my channel and make it your channel and present your friends and other interesting people. Suggesting very valuable information is posted in this channel by a person who is a long-term student of Indology for nearly 4 decades, and I put every day so many hours in studying our fascinating civilization. Excuse me for my allergies. And I will bring it to you in the form of icons. I posted nearly 100 videos or so, high quality, with meticulous maps for your viewing pleasure and understanding pleasure from diverse regions and diverse topics of India. Treaty of Bairawal, Treaty of Lahore, Treaty of Amritsar, and Madras Presidency growth and development, and Bombay Presidency, the imperialistic language of communist imperialism through India's intellectual articulate Kshatriya Sitaram Goelji and Ram Swarup and Acharya Koinrod Elst. From their viewpoint I presented there the Bombay Presidency, Europeanism, Christianity and Islam, how they pose a threat to native civilizations of Africa, Asia and North America, South America. Of course, in Europe, Christianity erased their entire past native culture, civilization and pagan heritage, lot of treaties and battles, and the Nizams of Hyderabad here, and Carnatic region, ceded districts and Rayalaseema, the railway history, heritage of Bharat, and musings are reflections on partition of Bharat from the ideological perspective, from the native viewpoint of Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarupji and Sitaram Goelji and so on. So there are nearly 100 or so videos, high quality maps and presentations. It's all in front of you to take advantage, whether you're a student preparing for exams or you're a social thinker, an articulator and a critic, and just want to know about India from a person who studied it at a very, very deep level. This is all for you. And friends and Mitrom and Bandhuvam, I really appreciate if you can share this information if you think this is a very entertaining and informative and knowledgeable with your audience and friends. And today's topic of discussion is geographic areas made easy, Pakistan, that has an area of 0.874 MSQ, million square kilometers. I already before talked about the geographical areas of the planet Earth made easy in the number 1 presentation, how the various continents have areas like Asia 44 million, Africa 30, Europe 10, South America 17, and North America 24, Oceania 17 or so. And I articulated that very easily for you. And World Geographical areas made easy. And I also made one more presentation about the geographical areas of the Bharat easy. What is 150, what is 300, 65, Sri Lanka 130, articulation 200. How you can remember and get very articulate about these things in just normal conversations. I made those points very easy for you, those two. And today I am taking about the third presentation, geographic areas made easy. You can look in my channel playlist. I will post a separate under the category geographic areas made easy, and all these similar content I will put there, and you can easily access it and look at them. Why I am presenting this? Because I spent a lot of years in understanding this point and came to a easy way I can communicate to my audience. So after this presentation you will get that way of thinking and you will become very articulate with these things. Why Pakistan is so important to not only to us, to the planet Earth? Because Pakistan is not a normal country. It is an Islam, a conversion-based ideology, is a militant ideology. It is a zero spirituality it has, and it is a spearhead of that Islamic world, originated, imposed by various sourcemen of Islam, starting by Muhammad, Ali, Rashidun Caliphate, and Umayyads and Abbasids, and Mughals and Ghaznabis, Ghoris. It is a spearhead pointing to us. You need to know these adversaries, our own people, alienated from us by Islamic ideology, theology. Once you know this land, that will increase your appetite to understand more about them. That's what it is. Because the Muslim proselytes everywhere in the planet Earth are erasing their past. That's how Christian proselytes, the converts, Islamic proselytes to do. That's what their closed, militant, conversion-based theology alienates them from their roots. As Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarup and Sitaram Goelji, Acharya Koenrad, Elst analyzed in their Voice of India think tank work. Before we get into that, and the easiest way you start it, I will make this so that the context is presented for you. This is the Pakistan. From Karakoram range to Karachi, it is a fascinating land. It is an ancient land. It is the land on which great Rishis did tapas. Hindu, Buddhist civilizations were there. Till 1947, pusillanimous, cowardice Congress leadership signed the partition treaty, gave those provinces west of River Ravi, that is Radcliffe Line, to the Islamic gangsters to erase their entire the native civilization. We have Balochistan province here, we have Sindh province here, they are also called Subhas or provinces. After partition, West Punjab, or simply they call it Punjab, and the west of Radcliffe Line. This is the Radcliffe Line, right? That is the partition line. East is Darul Harb and Jahili territory, and Kafirs live here. This is Darul Islam. That means Illam territory, enlightened territory. Converts, Mussalmans live here. So Darul Harb, Darul Islam. Balochistan province, Sindh province, West Punjab province. This is previously called Northwest Frontier province, also now called Kyber province or Kyber Pakhtunkhwa. Pashtun brothers live there. They are also called Pathans in India. This is the Kashmir. the part occupied by our alienated brothers, that is they called is the northern area or Gilgit-Baltistan. We'll get into that little more details. That is the Kashmir. They called it Azad Kashmir or Pak administered Kashmir, or Indian government calls it Pak occupied Kashmir. We are not getting into that aspects here. And in discussing about the countries, I told you, you have to keep in mind what I called TSQM, square kilometers. This is a kilometer, square kilometer. Here I put 10 like this, 10 square kilometers. You can put 1000 also next to each other, that becomes 1000 square kilometers. Almost every Indian district today is almost 2 or 2.5, 2000 square kilometers or more. Some are even bigger. We will deal with some other time. And you put 1000 here, then become 1 million square kilometers. 1000 is 3 zeros, 1 million is 6 zeros. When we talk about the continents like Asia, Europe, like that, you talk about million. MSQM we call it. When you talk about the countries, except a few, you call it 1000. There are only few countries that has more million square kilometers, like China here 10, United States 10, Canada 10, Soviet Union 17, Egypt itself is 1, India 3. Entire planet surface area is 510 million square kilometers. 70% of that is 360 is water, million square kilometers. 150 is land area. It is Egypt, 1000 kilometers, 1000 here, 1000 is a country almost like a square. Almost, I said, not exactly. That means Egypt has an area of 1 million square kilometers. I put is 1 million square kilometers. That is nothing but 1000 square kilometers. India is 3 times to that. Pakistan is less than India and almost 1000. Pakistan you think about like Egypt. Pakistan, West Pakistan, East Pakistan comes around about 1 million square kilometers. India is 3. That means they are 25% of our surface area, geographic area almost. That is Radcliffe Partition Plan or June 3rd Plan or Mountbatten Plan, 1947 June. So this gives you about the overall thing, and we go here. So when you remember, see there are little confusion. I will not say clarification is needed so that things will become clear to you. So when you look at these areas, different sources will give different, because that is due to Kashmir. How does Pakistan shows more area because it thinks entire Kashmir is its. India shows more area because entire Kashmir is Indian territory, and certain Kashmir area is also under Chinese control. Kashmir area is originally Maharaja Hari Singh Dogra's territory. That is this Kashmir. In this part, I will go over it very clearly. You will get a very solid understanding of that when we complete. When you say Pakistan, you remember this is million square kilometers, that is 0.8. That becomes 874,000 square kilometers or 0.8 million square kilometers. Because this A74 is a little bit hard to remember, I made it 1000. Why it 1000 is very easy. If you add Bangladesh 150, this 850 roundabout, you get 1000. So always remember Pakistan is 1000 square kilometers or 1 million square kilometers. India, excuse me if I am allergic, 3 million square kilometers. They are 1/4 of us, India. So you will never get wrong, and you will be in an exact context that you keep in mind. If you remember that when discussing India, you have to keep 150 in mind. Because when you talk about the continents, big countries like Russia, China, Canada, United States, you talk about millions. When you talk about the most of the countries except 10 or 12, you talk about thousands. Even in India, when you talk about it, you don't talk about only country level 3 million. The rest level you talk about only thousands. So always remember, here we are mostly talking about thousands. All these figures are in thousand SQM, square kilometers, not square mile. That is very different. And after partition, this is the British Punjab, 200 units. You simply remember units, that will be sufficient. That is TSQM, 1000 square kilometers. TSQM, 1000. West Punjab got 200. Truncated East Punjab, east of Radcliffe Award, Cyril Radcliffe line, we got 150. That is East Punjab, Purabi Punjab, Paschim Punjab. This 150 again, now we have 3 Punjabs. Haryanvi Punjab, Just Punjab and Himachali Punjab. 50 multiplied by 3 is 350, 150, very easy for you. You make 50, just add more, 55 Himachal, and because you added more, you reduce from here 5 less, that is 45, 44, that is Haryana. Delhi is because 1.4, so it makes 45. So 150 is East Punjab, 200 is West Punjab. If Pakistan is round about 1000 and you divide it into 5 provinces, 5 regions, Subhas, then you will get 200, right? So the core land of Pakistan, the spearhead of Islamic aggression pointing towards us, the core area of Pakistan is nothing but Punjab. 55% of Pakistanis are Punjab's intellectual centers, population centers, agriculture centers, industry, defense, and all people who maintain the Pakistan are from Punjab. 1000 divided by 5 is 200, that is West Punjab. Remember, Balochistan is very big, right? It has to be more, so it is 347. Because this is the average 200, Sindh is less, so this is less than that, so 140. 1000 square kilometers Sindh. Because Punjab is 200, Pakhtunkhwa is exactly off, that is 100. Again in Pakhtunkhwa, the Kyber province, northwest province, there are various nuances, federally administered territories, FATA, and all those areas, settled areas. We are not getting into that. It's a broad Pakhtunkhwa, Peshawar province, Kyber province, historic northwest frontier province during British time. Punjab 200, Pakhtunkhwa 100, and Sindh 150. Balochistan is a bigger piece of cake, mostly a plateau, administered from Quetta headquarters. It is 347, easy to remember, right? You combine Punjab, you combine Sindh is 340, that is what Balochistan is. Pakhtunkhwa 100, that makes easy. Then you have to know about Jammu and Kashmir. That's very important, a crucial thing here. That makes the things very complicated when we display the lot of areas. What is that complication? Here I will make the things very clear to you. Okay? When Maharaja Hari Singh, who ruled princely state of Punjab during partition independence time, acceded to the Indian domain, his territory was 222. That is 1000 square kilometers, right? All the things here are TSQM, 1000 square kilometers. Among which now 102 controlled by India, 80 controlled by Pakistan, 40 controlled by China. How do you remember, sir? Very easy. 222, you give India 100 century, Because India is the one that has more area, you give Pakistan little less. Less than 100 means make it 80, 180. Then Chinese area is half of that. China occupied some, Pakistan traded some to China, all those things. So 40. 80 plus 40 is 120. India has 100 units, that is 220. We made it 222, 102. So these minor things are not critical. 100. So here we have Hari Singh Dogra's territory. India has, I put it 43. Again, we are rounding up the figures for your convenience, right? How do you remember Kashmir area? Remember Haryana 44 or Punjab 50. Today, that means recently last 1 year, the abolition of that special status and all those things, articles. The Jammu and Kashmir now is the Ladakh and Kashmir, right? And Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Jammu and Kashmir is 43, same as Haryana. And Ladakh is 60. That is a little more than Himachal. 60 and 40 is 100. That's what we told. India has round about 100. That is Kashmir. Here 64 is called Gilgit area, Balochistan area. Pakistan calls it Gilgit Balochistan. That is 64. I told you Pakistan controls 80. Where is the remaining? Round about 16 or so, that is Azad Kashmir. This red area I saw, this round about 16 or 14. These are not again critical. This is especially Muzaffarabad here, Punch here, and Mirpur here. And we have Punjab plains here, Jhelum, Rawalpindi, Atto, Gujranwala, Gujarat, and so on. Okay, here 66 you make it 14, this is 100. 66 and 14, that is 80. So 80 is controlled by Pakistan. 64 in Gilgit Balochistan area. Round about 15 is in Azad Kashmir area. We use their terminology, that doesn't hurt. There is nothing wrong with it. Okay. China occupied area of Kashmir is 40. That is Aksai Chin area, they call it. They occupied it from Indian territory, and Kashmir also traded certain area. Now is 40. 40 here, 100 here, and 80 here. So that is 220. Now you can clearly understand the geographical distribution of that area. That means if you give Pakistan 1000 units, divide into 5 provinces, Punjab is exactly average 200, and Maharaja's territory is little more than that, 222. Last time I told you Telangana is 111. Telangana was ruled by Musalman Nizam Asafiya dynasty, Mir Usman Ali Khan. Islamic eternal problem with the Kafirs, non-converts, is the war. So Hyderabad is a problem, we had Operation Polo. Of course, Kashmir is an eternal problem. So whenever there is Islam and it is not completely ruled by Muslims, there is a problem. So if you remember 222 Jammu Kashmir, you can easily remember Telangana, that is residuary state of former Asafiya territory, princely state of Hyderabad, Deccan 111. So I told you, in order to remember, Radcliffe Award 200 and 150. If it's 150 here, that is, Sindh is almost 150, that is 140. Balochistan is Punjab and Sindh, that is 340, 347. Pakhtunkhwa is 100, half of Punjab. So here I have given these things in a perspective for you at one place. Bangladesh has a territory of 150. We are talking about 1000 square kilometers. 150 TSQM. Pakistan has 874 TSQM. Afghanistan is little less than Pakistan, so you can say 647. Or you can say it is 4 times Bangladesh. That is 4 times means 600, right? Almost similar, 647. or Pakistan, Afghanistan is almost 25% of Indian territory. Iran is 1.6, that is half of Indian territory. 647 is not 25%, it's okay. And Tibet is 1.2. Tibet is 1 point. Because entire Pakistan is 1000, you think about Tibet, little more than that, that is 1200. That is Autonomous Republic of Tibet, formerly independent country Tibet, which was taken over by the People's Republic of China communist regime. That is different from Tibetan Plateau. Tibetan Plateau is much bigger than Tibet. It spreads into Xinjiang area, into Gansu area, into other surrounding areas in People's Republic of China. That's different. India, I told you 3000 or 3200 we made. So all these things should be very easy for you to remember. India 3200. If you say Pakistan is 1000, Tibet is little bigger than that. Iran is, Persia is half of India, is 3200, 1600. Afghanistan is less than Pakistan, that is 647. Bangladesh is 150. Bangladesh is nothing but East Pakistan, East Punjab or Purbi Punjab after partition. Remember, when discuss about the areas, I told you Egypt is 1 million square kilometers. So it's exactly 1000 on the Mediterranean coast, and the area bordering Sudan near Aswan town, that is the Nasser Lake, Suez Canal on the side, and Libya other side, 1 million. Egypt 1 million square kilometers, easy to remember. Pakistan, practical purpose, the same area. If you add its seceded previous eastern area, Bangladesh, Purbi Bengal, East Bengal or East Pakistan. You remember Egypt 1, Pakistan is 1, India is 3. So if Pakistan is 1000, you remember 5 provinces, right? Balochistan, Sindh, Punjab, Pakhtunkhwa and Kashmir related areas. 200, that is its heartland. West Punjab is 200, actually 205. Sindh is less than average, 140, that is almost same size of truncated East Punjab Radcliffe Award, 140. Because Punjab is 200, half of it Kyber province 100, that's 101. Remember, among the Maharaja's territory 222, 80 is controlled by Punjab, and among which 64 is Gilgit-Baltistan. Azad Kashmir is 13, that is Muzaffarabad, Punch and Mirpur. Whenever you see in these areas, how to remember is, you remember 150 Radcliffe East Punjab, and if you bifurcate it and make it small subunits, almost hovers around, revolves around 50. Haryana is less than little 50, Punjab is exactly 50, Himachali Punjab is a little more than 50, Kashmir is almost, Kashmir and Jammu is almost like Haryana, that is 44 here, Ladakh is little more than Himachali Punjab, Aksai Chin Chinese control area is little less than Haryana, and of course Gilgit-Baltistan is little more than Ladakh, almost like a Ladakh, and 13 you have to remember, that remember. So if you remember these things, things become very easy in your normal conversation. When you talk about somebody asking certain area in India, and you say we already give 5 provinces to them, that is almost 1 million square kilometers we give, 1,000 K we give to them, and Hindus cannot give any more territory, and we won't tolerate this Islamic aggression, gangsterism, everyday street riots. We will deal it appropriately. Those type of context you can put, your audience will appreciate it, and they will say you are bringing very valuable information in the context. That is the about how to remember the geographical areas of Pakistan west of Radcliffe Line, our own ancient land alienated by the Islamic ideology, theology. That is the main issue. Muslims are not the issue, as Mahayogi Ram Swarup says. They are like our own people, any other people who live next to us. But Islam makes them extremely militant and aggressive. Their aggressive behavior pattern is mapped to their aggressive militant belief system. Once you understand this basic sentence, I repeat, their aggressive behavior pattern is mapped to their militant belief system. The things will start falling to you about the Islamic problem in India or in Philippines or in France, everywhere in the planet Earth. Everywhere Muslim proselytes are erasing their past, they uproot themselves from their land, everything Arabic, names Arabic, festival Arabic, and their books Arabic. Nothing but Arabic imperialism is masked, presented, imposed on this converted population, sourcemen of Islam, now propagated by salesmen of Islam in maktabs, madrasas and mosques, that made them to fight militantly in 1947. That's the Congress leadership couldn't fight them. Also, I can understand why they didn't understood that. There is, to put it mildly, they finally decided to get rid of those militant areas and pugnacious Muslims, those things, but they didn't send the rest of the converts in India. That should have been done, as Coenrod Elst says. Things should have been a lot better to India. Essentially, they gave the Muslim major regions to Muslims, kept vast amount of population in the truncated India. That again, now the problem is back to square one. That problem is now passed on to you, the younger generation. That's called kicking the can down, that Gandhiji, Nehruji and pusillanimous Congress leadership did it. That's the problem you have to face and we are facing today. That's a different story. That is about, and we go back and put the things in the proper perspective for you again. Okay, this is so when you look at this entire Pakistan, okay, you look at the Pakistan, how do you now, what we see, now there is no figures in front of me, I will tell you how to remember. Entire Pakistan is 1000, right? When you 1000, you see the 25%, 5 times you divide it, 200, this area Punjab is 200, and Sindh is less than that, this is Karachi, Hyderabad and Sakar, and that is 140. And Balochistan is these two together, that is Balochistan, south of Kandahar, this is in Afghania, that is 347 here, because Pakistan is 1000, Afghanistan should be less than that, you can see here, 650 or 647. In Pakistan itself, the Maharaja's territory is 222. So, now, this truncated Punjab of Radcliffe Award, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal is 150 here, Punjab is 50, then Himachal is 55, Haryana is 44, then the Ladakh is round about 60, this is 55 Himachal and this is 60 Ladakh, and Jammu and Kashmir now today is little more than Haryana, that is 44 here, the Gilgit Balochistan is nearly 60, that is 64, and this Azad Kashmir area, that is Muzaffarabad and Punch and Mirpur, and here it is not that Punch, Muzaffarabad, I will show you other maps somewhere, and that is 13, you remember. Here again the same, I discussed India, 150 is East Punjab, truncated, you double it, that is 300, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra are 300 nearly, this is 340, add to Haryana, 347, same as Rajasthan and Balochistan are almost same areas, and 65 is Sri Lanka, 130 is Tamil Nadu, and half of 65 is around about 35 or so. 38 is Kerala. And I told you, when you talk about these areas, always you should also remember Sikkim. Sikkim is 7. 7 days is 7,000. Countries are all 1,000, right? Only big countries are million. We are talking about 1,000. Sikkim is 7,000. Bhutan, you have to remember 38. That is same as Kerala. Bhutan, you remember Kerala. 65 Sri Lanka, 38 Kerala, 130 Tamil Nadu. Kerala is same as Bhutan, 38. You remember, because it's 850 in Pakistan West, remaining 150 has to be given to Bangladesh. That becomes 1,000. Bangladesh is 150, and West Bengal is half of that, 75, actually 88. So I told you Rajasthan is more than 300, that is 347, same as a Balochistan. That's how you can very easily remember this area. Coming back to this partition, Maharaja Hari Singh Dogra's territory partition, you see here the Azad Kashmir here. I hope you will see the Azad Kashmir here a little better. That is 13 or 14 or so, and we have seen this is Azad Kashmir. This is the Mirpur city they're showing here. That it is a 3 historical districts, Mirpur, Poonch and Muzaffarabad. You can see Muzaffarabad here. You see Muzaffarabad here. The district, there is a Poonch somewhere. There is a Poonch. Okay, this is a Mirpur, will be somewhere here. Yeah, here it is somewhere missing. The Muzaffarabad, Poonch and Mirpur. That is about in the Google map. There are 13 here. So now when you look at this, you can very easily understand the geographical area. Remember, of India, Pakistan, Radcliffe gave almost 25% of geographical area to our alienated brothers, Islamic proselytes, Muslim proselytes. So India is 3,000, Pakistan is 1,000. Among 1,000, 850 is in the western wing, 150 is in Bangladeshi wing, 150 is Bangladesh, again 150 is Nepal, and 150 nearly is the Sindh, and Sri Lanka is 65, and Kerala 38, Bhutan 38, and Sikkim is 7. So, what did we discuss today? I told you how to remember the geographical areas of Pakistan. I made the things very easy for you. Once you remember those things, how to remember, you remember the Egypt, that is 1,000 kilometers, 1 million square kilometers. That is, Egypt is 1, Pakistan is almost 1, that is the Balochistan province, Sindh Suba, West Punjab Suba, or simply Punjab Suba, and Kyber Suba, and the Kashmir related areas, that is round about 874,000 square kilometers, or 0.874 million square kilometers. Heartland is 200, Sindh is less than that, 140, both together 340, that is Balochistan. Heartland, that is Punjab, half of it is Pakhtunkhwa, and Maharaja's territory 222, among which India got 100. In the Indian 100, you got 60 Ladakh, 43 Jammu Kashmir, and 80 has given to Pakistan occupation, 64 Gilgit, Baltistan. Baltistan area here called Skardu area. Gilgit area near the Karakoram or Wakhan corridor in the Xinjiang province is 64, and 14 is Muzaffarabad, Mirpur and Poonch. Aksai Chinchain control area is 40. Radcliffe to East Punjab is 150, that is 50 is Punjab, that is Chandigarhi Punjab, and Himachali Punjab and Haryanvi Punjab. And those things are very important because Pakistan is our neighbor and it is the spearhead of Islamic aggression on the planet Earth. As a kafir, you should know about it. Anything that throws light on Pakistan will educate you, because the current generation has to face this Islamic problem. India is rapidly Muslim population increasing. Novices India, alienated rulers, Mekhalaites, Lutens, all those Lutenites. People have covered the problem they couldn't face, calling secular, brainwashed you, generate a 2-3 generation that totally doesn't understand what is going on. I hope this will educate you because you are the one going to face the problem. India, I feel, unfortunately leading to the same situation like partition time, social violence among the Islamic converts. Kashmir is just an example where millions of our soldiers lax are just guarding the territory against the spearhead against. This is other way of telling it. If you take away the army there, the next day Islamic flags will flutter. I won't say it's Pakistan. Pakistan is just a ideology. It is a source, spearhead of Islamic ideology. That's very important. If you give it a name Pakistan, you will be misled. You have to understand what Islam is. Darul Harb, Darul Islam, Jahiliya, Ilm, Kafirs and Mumins, a constant, militant, aggressive war called jihad, Ghanima waged by the converts, Muslims on parent body, Kafirs, Hindus or Sikhs or Buddhists, is a constant feature drilled in their mind in thousands of maktabs, madrasas, everywhere in the world. That's what you have to understand. If you do not understand the same fate that has fallen to the Sikhs and Hindus of Punjab, Sindh, Baloch, frontier, East Bengal can happen to you. That is the historical fact. You should keep in mind and you can start thinking about it. This is your presenter J. Reddy at South Asia Maps, intellectual channel, educational channel that brings South Asian knowledge to you. Friends, Mitrom and Bandhuvam, if you liked my presentations and think they are very valuable, give a different, holistic, integrated perspective of that land in the form of icons, I request you to subscribe our channel South Asia Maps plus JRD and let your friends know about this very valuable channel and informative channel. Thank you very much. I will see you later presentation.